How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Vampiress Carmilla number 10. This is from September 2022, and we have 6 new anthology horror stories. For those of you guys who are new to the magazine, Vampiress Carmilla is black and white, classically styled anthology horror, and each time around you're gonna get 6 stories plus the host segment. If you guys like things like the classic monsters or old school comics, there's a lot in here for you to like, and they always do their best, to come up with new and creative scenarios for classic formulas, mix things up, combine things together, have a new twist on an idea. If you guys like the Creeps, which is now Shudder, this is made by a lot of the same people. It's the sister magazine, and if you like one of these magazines, you'll like the other. Really, really fun stuff. And there's some cool stuff going on in this issue. We got some classic horror, but we also got some fantasy and some sci-fi in here as well to shake things up a bit, and a couple stories that, even though they're not explicitly set in the 70s and 80s, I still feel that they have that kind of spirit in here. One that reminded me of The Stepfather. I thought it was pretty cool. And without further ado, let's switch to the close-up camera and show you guys a little bit about the stories and take a closer look at this magazine. So, without further ado, to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are in the castle taking a closer look at Vampiress Carmilla number 10. Let's bring the cover a little closer to the camera. We get to see the logo in this nice green this time around. Terrifying tales of enchantment and horror. Number 10 for September 22. Don't miss the chilling Beauty and the Barbarian. And that's where we get this cover here. Very good action cover. The Barbarian fighting this monster with 4 arms. And this is actually a cover from Ken Kelly, a actual painting from back in the day that they're repurposing and making a story out of. So we do get to actually see this fight in the comic and see who this woman is. She's got her steel bikini on, which is somehow miraculously covering up everything. But in regards to that, really quick, in regards to censorship, YouTube tends to flip out kind of randomly, and I tend to play it safe. So if you look inside the magazine, you'll see I've put up some little post-it note pieces, and more YouTube's idea than mine. I work hard for my videos, and I don't want to lose them, so that's what those are, and we'll get right into those in a minute because we open up the magazine and Carmilla's Scary Tales. She'll be talking about succubuses. It talks about the key group of them, how a pope was supposedly in league with them, and they might still be out there today, so watch out for signs, but basically female evil spirits that drain men. Anyway, after that, we have the table of contents, Carmilla's Blood Letters, Long Night's Journey into Fright, Time Scare, Beauty and the Barbarian, Beach Blanket Bewitched, The Stripper, and The Last Bus. A really good variety in the stories this time around. But yeah, 6 stories, plus the Carmilla in the castle section. Anyway, I'm going to be jumping into the magazine, taking a look at the stories. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers. I'll try to avoid the end bits and the twists and stuff like that. But I do want you guys to have a basic understanding as to what the stories are about, and show you guys a little bit of the art and stuff too. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. We open up with the Carmilla in the, after the letters page, opening Vampiress Carmilla number 8 and seeing Reno Marquis, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, doing Carmilla's Scary Tales was a treat. I feel that you are filling a void that this air is facing with this medium. So yeah, some fun quotes from the people. And then after that, the Carmilla in the Castle page. So she is telling one of her scary stories when she hears piano music playing and thinks, oh, the Phantom of the Opera's here. I didn't know he was here. And they kind of recreate that, 25 Phantom scene where she takes off the mask, but instead it's Dr. Jekyll. And they're like, what are you doing? Why are you wearing the mask? And he makes a pandemic joke, just kind of trying to brush it off. And I kind of wonder, is he, like, hiding his sensitive side or something like that? And also, I think Dr. Jekyll was in here before, like Carmilla was trying to paint him or something. And I really do like the idea of seeing reoccurring monster characters, getting to know who exactly is in the castle, who's in the crew and whatnot. So we get a shot of the book, Eerily Creepy Vampiress Stories. I thought her book had like a skull on it. Was that just me? Maybe she's got several books to read from. Anyway, after that, Long Night's Journey into Fright, and we get the classic guy going to talk to the man up in the castle. He says that he wants history. He's a student, and he wants to know about the local history, but no one will take him up to the castle to do the interview. Very classic, it's haunted, we can't go there. So he eventually meets someone who needs money for alcohol and will agree to take him, someone desperate enough. And also, this lady from the bar gets kicked out. They say, don't trust her, she's a thief. And he decides to bring her with him anyway. So the two of them are going to go to the castle. This is very classic Universal stuff, very much like the opening of Dracula. And we will get to the castle and we will meet the mysterious guy living there. But there is a twist to this. And then, of course, we also have the can we trust the girl element. But, the Creeps and later Shudder and Carmilla are always really good about, going in and doing stuff like sci-fi and fantasy and changing it up. I really do appreciate just going straight into doing a very deep classic horror story too, We can change it up, but also bear in mind your roots, And I really do like that they will give us, crazy out there stuff, but also very, very classic horror. After that, we have Time Scare, and this guy's developed a way to see through time, and he's watching the death of Cleopatra, and so he's glad. He wants to study history. He can't physically travel, but he can study it. And then a mysterious woman pops onto the view screen after they invented it, and she says she's from the future and that she's found his data and is using it to send her image back through time and talk to this guy. And she says she's among the few people that survived a deadly pandemic, and there was no cure for it. So she wants to talk to him, and they can do some science and make a portal connecting their two times, and she can go back in time and try to fix it. But of course, the main scientist is falling way too madly in love with her, and his assistant is thinking, we should be a lot more careful when we try to mess with time. So, a good classic sci-fi horror story, and you're reading a horror magazine, so you know that they're constantly on the edge of messing up or something crazy happening. And I do really like the twist at the end of this one. I'm like, okay, that's a fun time travel sci-fi horror ending there. After that, Beauty and the Barbarian. There's also this fun gag with the Carmilla hosting segments where Carmilla likes the Barbarian, is like, is he single? But you see this guy's past. He's done all sorts of odd jobs. As long as it involves fighting, he's really good at it. But he wants to be a king, and that title has always eluded him. But one day he goes to the village, and they say that that the princess is got kidnapped by a wizard, and if he can defeat the evil wizard and save the princess, he gets her hand in marriage, which will put him on path for royalty. So he's, of course, going to go to the cave, going to fight all these goons, and then we get the four-armed guy from the poster, and he's going to try to fight him off, and that's the biggest goon, but he's still not at the wizard yet, and he's got to be really careful. Wizards are up to some tricks, and, you know, if you don't defeat the wizard right, things could get really, really bad. Again, classic, you know, kind of Conan the Barbarian style, sword and sorcery. And then after that, we get Beach Blanket Bewitched, and we get this girl that wanders out of the ocean and faints, and this guy goes to help her. We get this weird perspective with Carmilla kind of leaning in, but she's like way too big because that's the pier right there. She's a host. She can do kind of whatever she wants and violate the laws of physics a little bit. But anyway, he takes her home to his wife, and they try to figure out how to help her, and he notices that she has gills and keeps that a secret for himself. However, they of course are going to fall in love, and eventually she is going to have a strong urge to return to the sea, and that is going to sort of turn into a very dark element when they go underwater, but I don't want to spoil that. But I love, you know, a beach story. You know, again, there's so many places that you can go with a horror movie. Beach is a really good atmosphere. They get to talk about fishing. He's a fisherman. And yeah, this is kind of fun, especially when they get to the big, crazy ending. There's one thing that's kind of bugged me with this comic, like, the wife's bikini. Like, in this panel, anything explicit's out of frame, but it doesn't look like she's wearing anything. And then in this one, it looks like there's no top strap. And then in this panel, she has a prominent top strap. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe she's changing a lot or something. But anyway, fun story, different story, and of course, wacky twist at the end. Then after that, we have the story, The Stripper. And there's this one stripper that she only comes in once a month, and everybody goes nuts to see her, Valeria. And there's all these guys that are begging her to come back with him, and this one guy, your main character and his friend, well, the friend thinks, hey, I've got a chance, and meets her after the show, and there's all these men there, but she says, you know what, I really like your tattoos, and she picks him out of the whole crowd. Well, the friend goes to see to see him, and he doesn't answer and thinks that, oh, they're on a long fling or something, right? But it turns out he's gone for a while, and he thinks, oh man, I got a whole month, this girl likes tattoos, I'm going to get a bunch of tattoos, and then maybe next month she'll pick me. And of course she does, but what's the twist? You know, there's going to be a horror element. You know that this is Vampiress Carmilla. You know that there's going to be something up with this. Overall, a classic horror story. Really did almost feel like it had that 70s grunge. I'm not sure when it was supposed to take place, but I really do like that one. Again, good classic horror. Good, I think I'm winning, but oh no, wait, what's this? But then after that, another really fun one. The Last Bus. We get this guy stabbing his wife and killing her right there in the beginning, chopping her up and throwing her in the trash can on trash day. Well, he gets ready to leave. He drains all the money and takes all the jewels and sells them, and then he looks in the mirror and has a bit of a flashback. You see, he's done this several times. He's changed his appearance, and he's going from woman to woman and killing them and taking all their money. So, if you guys have ever seen, it's like I think it's an 80s movie, The Stepfather, kind of a similar concept. This guy who would go in, marry these women, but eventually he would lose it. They are different, especially once you go past the base concept, but if you like this, go check out The Stepfather. But anyway, after this, he's going to try to get out of town on the last bus of the night, and, you know, once again, something's going to happen. Can this guy get off scot-free? Anyway, that was actually the last story. Another case of, wow, we went through all those already, but some really fun stuff in here. Again, good variety for Carmilla. I definitely did also like, you know, the variety, but also not forgetting to go deep into classic horror. And hey, you know, those last two really did feel like, you know, the stripper felt like a story from the 70s, and then the last bus kind of felt, you know, a little 80s slasher-esque, and I really do love those time periods. So some good stories in here. Once again, definitely recommend the magazine. I found mine at Barnes & Noble, so I would say definitely worth looking into and checking out if you're classic horror fans. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Creeps / Carmilla / Shudder playlist. I've talked about a bunch of these magazines, and if you want to see me talk about some of the past issues, you can find that there. I think I have all the Carmillas talked about. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.